So Australia sucks, according to this Daily Mail article. Some very interesting, strong words, and quote, some expats feel that we live in golden handcuffs in suburbia. What are the striking things? There are a couple of striking things here. One is obviously they say they prefer living in Asia because the food is cheaper, it's better, the quality of life is higher, etc. There's a list of other things that they talk about. But on the other side, there's also this article from CNBC which says Australia may pay more taxes than Americans, but here is what they get for their money. And it's some interesting stuff that they talk about. But what's particularly concerning, and an issue over here almost, is that the jail term, right? When there was a COVID lockdown, bunch of Australians stuck abroad, and not just ordinary people, high profile people as well, sportsmen included. And when they tried to return to their home country, now this was during COVID lockdown, and whenever there is a catastrophe outside, most nations were trying to evacuate their citizens outside of those countries, those third world countries, and they were trying to get them back home so their citizens are in their land and in safety. But reverse was the case with Australia, when if you were an Australian, had an Australian citizenship, you were trying to enter in Australia, you would have been arrested at the airport if you tried to enter home during a lockdown. Now, I don't know if Australia is right or wrong over here. I don't want to get into that argument, but I personally feel, and this is my personal opinion, this defeats the whole point of having a citizenship in the first place if you're not able to get back home, let alone your country trying to get you home, right? Leave that scenario aside, but let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say you're doing your best efforts to get back home during a catastrophe outside, and if your country is going to arrest you and jail you, then that really defeats the purpose of any kind of citizenship. And this is what truly made sense to me when Australians started reaching out for alternate options. And the reason I mentioned Australians qualify for three important citizenships here, and particularly these three make a lot of sense, because Australians are used to a premium privilege. One, their passport is very strong, so they want a replacement passports that equally strong. And two, they're very used to that APEC access. A lot of other people don't know much about APEC because you don't deal with APEC. There are few countries, only 21 out of the 193 odd, that have the APEC privilege, meaning the APEC membership. And if you have this card, then you can literally travel to other places. You have business opportunities outside of your home country. And that is when you are changing your passport, let's say from an Australian one to another stronger one, it's a replacement passport or it's a backup passport. Maybe you want to renounce your Australian citizenship. Maybe you don't want to renounce your Australian citizenship, but you want an alternate strong citizenship with APEC privileges, then you have a head start in these three countries. And I'm talking about Peru, Chile, and Mexico. Yes, that beautiful green passport Mexico has that APEC privileges. Now with Peru and Chile, I've had several videos on my channel how you can obtain these residencies. Chile is the best country to get the citizenship from and the passport to hold. But with the best comes the difficulty. You have to put your time on the ground in Chile for 5 years. You got to reside in Chile for 5 years. Getting the residency is the easy part, but then putting in those 5 years physically in Chile is required for you to then get your Chile citizenship. It has full APEC privileges, which gives you business access to Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia. So you don't need the MM2H anymore because you can enter Malaysia, Singapore, and several other countries, important high profile countries that you get along with APEC. So that's Chile. Peru is interesting. In a couple of years, you can obtain the Peru passport. You have to reside in the country for those 2 years if you're looking for the Peru citizenship. There's some other requirements which I have discussed in a separate video. But let's talk a little about Mexico. This is the best and this is the easiest one. And I'm saying this is the best because it's also flexible. Unlike Chile or Peru, here you're starting off with a flexible temporary residency, and most Australians watching this channel should already qualify. for the residency. You lock in your time. You don't have to physically move there. You can if you want to, but it's completely flexible. And towards the end, if you're doing or satisfying certain minimum physical presence, which is extremely modest, and I've discussed all these requirements several times on my channel, I'm not going to repeat it, but once you get that solid, strong Mexican passport, you have Canada visa-free access, you have a TN access, a backdoor entry into the US, and you have your APEC privileges that you carry from your Australian passport. The Mexican passport itself is extremely strong. If you look at some of the access, is at par with your Australian passport, including the APEC privileges. Now, if you are interested in getting started with any of these residencies, we have attorneys in different locations which try to process your case as soon as possible with the maximum speed, ease, and efficiency. So if you are interested, click the link, book a call. We can discuss exactly which residency makes sense for you. Maybe you're looking for a citizenship in 2 years. Maybe you're okay with a citizenship in 5 years. We got you covered. And if you aren't subscribed, then make sure to turn on the bell notification and subscribe so you don't miss out on any important changes which I cover continuously on my channel. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.